6.6% is the black unemployment rate, if I can put it like that, the lowest ever recorded. Why isn't that message getting out to the black community?
The U.S. hit China with tariffs on $34 billion worth of goods.
The unemployment rate among vets is down to its lowest rate in years.
Unemployment claims have hit a 45-year low.
Unemployment for Hispanics hit an all-time record low in June. The only acceptable result of the Trump administration will be a significant reduction in our trade deficit and balanced fair trade between our two countries.
Unemployment among women has reached the lowest level as of today in 65 years.
We interrupt this program with a special bulletin. America is now under martial law. All constitutional rights have been suspended. Stay in your home. Do not attempt to contact loved ones, insurance agents, or attorneys. Shut up. Do not attempt to think or depression may occur. Stay in your home. Curfew is at 7 p.m. sharp after work. Anyone caught outside the gates of their subdivision sectors after curfew will be shot. Remain calm. Do not panic. Your neighborhood watch officer will be by to collect urine samples in the morning. Anyone caught interfering with the collection of urine samples will be shot. Stay in your home. Remain calm. The number one enemy of progress is questions. National security is more important than individual will. All sports broadcasts will proceed as normal. No more than 2 people may gather anywhere without permission. Use only the drugs prescribed by your boss or supervisor. Shut up! Be happy. Obey all orders without question. The comfort you've demanded is now mandatory. Be happy. At last, everything is done for you.
In spirit of President Eisenhower.
Realistically, is the Cambodian government and the Ministry of Health up to that kind of an operation?
At the moment, if it was to happen tomorrow, not yet.
But neither is the rest of the world. If H5N1 were to become highly contagious in humans this winter, it could spread to every country in the world in a matter of months. There is no way that governments, health organizations, and pharmaceutical manufacturers would be able to produce sufficient amounts of the strongest antiviral drugs or vaccines to contain it.
Right now, and we all admit that, right now, if we had an explosion of an H5N1, we would not be prepared for that.
Without causing neither undue fear in the population nor excessive or undue disruption of social life.
Homeland Security Secretary was asked what her message is to worried Americans.
We can't just say stop everything.
Today's numbers are about 4 times higher than what the CDC reported just 6 days ago.
I've asked every American to take the same steps you would take to prevent any other flu.
The government now believes roughly 8 million children have come down with the virus.
I've requested an immediate $1.5 billion in emergency funding from Congress to support our ability to monitor and track this virus.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
But it appears that over in the House, left-wing political messaging may have taken priority over the needs of our country.
Well, the House of Representatives now approving a bill today that would ban the sale of flavored tobacco products.
Instead of focusing on immediate relief to affected individuals, families, and businesses, the House Democrats chose to wander into various areas of policy that are barely related, if at all, to the issue before us.
Is this as infectious as they're telling us it is? Because if it was as infectious as they're telling us it is, these would all be in use and everybody would be dying, and we're not seeing that.
We all talk about the fears. It makes it so much worse for us nurses to work. We're seeing the reality of it, but to hear it on constantly, there's not enough, there's not enough. In reality, I'm not seeing it. I'm in a hot zone right now. I'm in South New Jersey. Right? We're very close to New York.
And so you don't see that when you hear the
I'm not
stories.
seeing it.
You know why? Because they're fake news.
Every night we come in and we get the same 2 residents and they max out all the sedation again and undo all the work from the day shift. Then the day shift attendant will come in and they'll all do rounds and they'll be like, he wasn't synchronizing with the vent. So we had to turn all the sedation on. And I'm like, he wasn't synchronizing with the vent because it's in the wrong vent mode.
Our first initial response 2 months ago was a little bit of fear. We decided to shut down travel to and from China. These are good ideas when you don't have any facts. We decided to keep people at home and isolate them. Even though everything we've studied about quarantine, typically you quarantine the sick. When someone has measles, you quarantine them. We've never seen where we quarantine the healthy, where you take those without disease and without symptoms and lock them in your home.
So all this talk you hear on the news by the governors and everybody else, we're having shortages of ventilators. It's not true.
The secondary effects that we went over, the child abuse, alcoholism, loss of revenue, all these are, in our opinion, a significantly more detrimental thing to society than a virus that is proven similar in nature to the seasonal flu we have every year.
Does this warrant shutting down the country? Does this warrant $6 to $10 trillion in economic stimulus just for this country? Does this warrant all these things that are being put in place?
We also need to put measures in place so economic shutdown like this does not happen again. We want to make sure we understand that quarantining the sick is what we do, not quarantining the healthy. We need to make sure if you're gonna dance on someone's constitutional rights, you better have a good reason. You better have a really good scientific reason and not just theory.
The chairman of Harvard University's chemistry department arrested by FBI agents, charged with lying about more than $1 million in payments from the Chinese government. A Boston University researcher accused of being a secret operative of the Chinese military. Another Harvard researcher caught at the airport allegedly trying to smuggle biological materials to China. All 3 incidents were this week, and they're not alone.
Can't just say stop everything.
We would not be prepared for that.
Nor excessive or undue disruption of social life.